Hi, good afternoon. It's been a couple of weeks since I did my previous episode, and lots happened. First of all, my zendo, my high young zendo, had a first class today. 3 people. We did a short meditation with a minimum of instructions, and I want to give a little background of how things have just kind of unfolded for me. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, my strong meditation message was that when the teacher was ready, the students would appear. And as such as it is, I remember I spent a lot of time in preparation, 60 years, since the naive 12-year-old began his meditation practice, uninstructed, by the way, just kind of spontaneous, and sort of developed over the years. But what's been, life is amazing, and I never grow tired of being amazed. And recently, it's sequential, step by step, but what I appreciate about Zen, about Chan meditation, is it's based on simplicity and ordinariness. The ordinary is extraordinary. Simplicity is the key. So as I embark on this phase of my life where it's my turn to share, it's my turn to open to the world, it's my turn to be less reclusive and more inclusive. So I converted my garage step by step to the point where I had my zendo. And it's funny how bits and pieces, things that I bought almost 20 years ago, things that came to me, things that are important to me, are all on the altar that I created. And everything fits, and everything has a place. It's just a sense of awe that I see how things just come together. It's happened spontaneously, but spontaneous was over a period of 60 years. And I've known that I'm not soliciting, I'm not advertising, I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking for souls that want to share. And as I live in Taiwan, and my Chinese is incredibly minimal. In fact, most would be incredulous to really grasp how little I've known, how little Chinese I know after 23 years here. Over 23 in May. April. 23 in April. People think I'm being modest that, he knows more Chinese than that. Surprise, surprise. But I haven't wanted to depend on anyone. So all along, ever since I've been here, I've never asked anyone to translate anything for me. Of my 15, 18 years of teaching, local teaching at the National University here, I never asked colleagues to translate. I always make do. In fact, if that's my motto, is make do. Do the best with what I have. After all, basically, what else is there? So I'm just coming off my first sharing, my first class, and I haven't even I had a soft opening, and I've been spending lots of times in my meditation chair and in my space meditating 2-3 hours a day for the last month, just preparing the space, making it sacred, making it so that those with some sensitivity walk in and they can already feel. Now, I'm not blessed with a quiet location. Perhaps you can hear in the background the car of a fairly regular street. It's one of the local shortcuts. I live on one of the local shortcuts, so people in the know make use of this street. So there is noise, so I can't offer a space of silence, but I can offer a place of refuge. And I found a sign that expresses, that seemed perfect. I want to go and read it to you, so I'm searching for it on the phone. Now this will be prominently on display in my space, in my dojo. And I hope you can. I should have been prepared. Here it is. This has a picture of Dhammo. I wonder if you could see. There's Dhammo, and next to him, meditation in the midst of activity is 1,000 times superior to meditation in stillness. And it's a Japanese master, Zen master, Hakuin Ikaku. I haven't the date, but it does have a picture of Dhammo. And this will be a big sign. And it's perfect. Meditation in the midst of activity is 1,000 times superior to meditation in stillness. So in other words, we have to be of this world. We're in this world. And what my zendo is stressing is simplicity and making do. I'm making do with the space that I have that's been provided to me by the universe. So one of the first things people said as I shared my idea and as I began to establish my places is, well, there's traffic noise. And like this very same day, serendipity, right? The happy accident. The very same day I found this posted on Facebook by Mr. Kenneth Leong, someone that I only know from Facebook, who's beginning to teach, and he really is. It's interesting because he's an Easterner and taking a Western slant, a Western perspective. He talks about Christianity, Zen and Christianity, looking for commonalities. And here I am coming from the West to the East, and it's the Eastern sensibilities that's always appealed to me. I've never been a Christian, even though I was baptized twice. Once my mother wanted to please my Catholic father, and we were baptized Catholics. And then her church at that time, which helped her so much, was the Lutheran church. So I was baptized in a Lutheran church. And I remember a few lessons of Sunday school, but never, just Christianity didn't ring true for me. It wasn't appropriate for me. And actually, at 8, 9, 10, 11, I became a Buddhist with a little b because I didn't know. I just didn't know. So here I am in Taiwan without the use of the lingua franca, Chinese, and most the predominant people that will be coming are Taiwanese. So without bothering anybody to be a translator, I'm looking for I'm not looking for anything. I'm waiting for the right people to come here. They can help me do the physical setup. You know, it's in my garage, so I have to move the car out. I have to park the car. I have to I have sofas for sitting. I have some cushions on the ground. I still got to get some more zabutons. And again, I really haven't had an official hard opening. Just soft openings, but I'm numbering today. That's why I'm sharing today. I'm numbering today as my first sharing. My first sharing of myself. And it's, as always, I look to my meditation. My mind is good for only sifting, weighing, evaluating, searching, filing, storing information, and then gleaming, mining, panning for gold among the information to discard what doesn't directly lead to knowledge. And with the knowledge, with that knowledge, I start looking for the real true nuggets of wisdom. So this is what my mind does. This is what my mind was built to do. Sift, sort, file, and then train myself to access. But as I've always said, I will know what I need to know when I need to know it. And it's all there. And if I stumble, and I find myself stumbling on words sometimes, most of the time it's just spontaneous and smooth because none of these sharings are rehearsed, practice, come from a script. I get a vague idea in a dream or a vision or an inspiration. So here I am in Taiwan without use, and it's hard enough to order breakfast, much less offer any kind of esoteric, any kind of teachings. So my meditation, it came to me Saturday. I will have a class for a couple hours, and it'll be the only time that I verbalize, that I talk. And today was the first Saturday, and the same friend, Taiwanese friend that brought the first two people, translated for me too. So the rest of the week, I'll be open 2 to 4 hours a day, available. I have my big roll-down garage door open. I'll be sitting there. People are welcome to come and sit for as long or as short, but I'm going to have I'll be in meditation for 2 or 3 hours silently. I won't acknowledge anyone. I won't, because it's my time for no words. So they can come in and just sit. And then Saturdays, I offer my teachings. And I've really been inspired. I've been guided to make them as simple as possible. As I became a man of no questions, I'm working to develop souls that won't ask questions. And if they do ask questions, I'll redirect them to themselves, the source of everything. We begin here. And now I want to formalize my teachings today, and that's the purpose of this video. Other than sharing the latest developments, because this is at least my own personal documentation of what's been happening. In these times of turmoil, I've been blessed with my equanimity. I've been blessed with being able to listen. I've been blessed with being in a constant state of surrender. And in this state of surrender, in this state of equanimity, in this state of love, in this state of light, in this state of peace, what I need finds me. And this is how I live life most successfully, is to let life find me, to let people find me. All things will come in their own time. The world comes to me, and I'm open, I'm receptive, I'm responsive, I'm aware. So I've always loved the violet consuming flame, and some followers, some people might remember me talking about the violet consuming flame, how I personally, each day, no matter who we are, as long as we're in a physical form, as long as we have a body, we're accumulating karma. One of the things that happens when you're awakened is that you release, you relieve. You don't need your karma anymore, because karma is so deeply, believe it or not, involved with our self-identity, our ego. It's the glue that holds the ego in place. It's what we build our ego upon, the foundation upon which it rests. So as we learn to let go, and that's where we'll start my teaching. Let go, let go, let go. And then this violet consuming flame that burns our karma. And I mentioned we accumulate karma every day. So I have a ritual of relying on this, actually visualizing it and letting it consume the karma on a daily basis. So I have my meditation sitting formally, even though I can pretty much remain in a meditative state 24/7. I still formally sit and meditate. I burn incense. I listen to some spiritual music, low vibe spiritual music. I like to light a candle. I create an atmosphere that's conducive, and I practice in the same spot, in the same space, and preferably at the same periods of time a day. I have adjusted my schedule because you can see that it's a little bit chilly here. So my meditation, it gets late, it gets dark early, so my meditation takes place a little bit earlier. I've been doing from like 2 to 5. So this simplicity of my use of the violet consuming flame on a daily basis is part of my ritual. It's part of my practice, an integral part. So I thought, it dawned on me that that's the teaching. How to visualize the violet consuming flame. The flame that you put your hand in it and you will feel no pain. It doesn't burn. The violet consuming flame is selective. It burns karma. It burns discard. It burns illness. So I begin by surrounding my heart with this violet consuming flame. And I share this with my students. I start out saying, let it go, let it go, let it go, 3 times. And then I talk about encircling this, visualizing this violet consuming flame, this circle surrounding your heart that purifies and cleanses and burns off your, in my case, my daily accumulated, just by breathing in and breathing out. Just by being in this form, we accumulate karma. And we need to practice to burn it daily. So surround my heart with this violet consuming flame. And then so it's always within, and then I come without. My circle of flames is now out in front of me, outside, so inside, out. And most of us are so used to outside, in. So let's switch gears and learn to the source of wisdom and peace and the universe and the universal and joy. It's all within. So let's bring it without. So I visualize this circle and I place my whole body in the circle for not only removal of karma, but it's a healing. It's wellness. So I'm in the circle. And this is my teachings. Let it go. And then relax. Never mind what the mind's doing. Only a fool tries to conquer the mind. The best we can do is utilize it in a constructive manner. And which makes perfect sense, because why are we given this beautiful brain only to silence it, this beautiful mind, this tool, one of the few tools that we have. And now we have ourselves in the circle, and then bring in the nearest and dearest, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and just sit with this. And I'm teaching that the importance of regularity, same time, same space, and it's much more important than length of meditation. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then after sitting, if you can sit longer, more power to you. The goal is, I've found optimum amount of time for most people is if you can sit for an hour, it's a consequence of training and ritual for most of us to sit still for an hour. So you go towards this goal gradually. But here we are so we've let go. We're learning to ignore your mind as much as you can. Let it go. Let's let it go. Your mind will do its thing. But you can learn not to pay too much attention. And it's easy. Once you've accepted that the mind's purpose is never to make plans for your life, never to tell you what to do, never to guide your mind is not intended to solve problems. It's not intended to set goals. That's the ego pretending, hiding in the mind. So let go, breathe, relax. Begin with the circle around you, the violet consuming a flame around your heart. Expand it to a circle in front of, project it out in front of you. Get inside. Heal yourself. Stay with yourself as long as you need to, as many days or weeks or months or years. And then add. Some people can start adding right away. So add those nearest and dearest. And anyone that you know may be ill or challenged or unhappy. Include them quietly. Include them in the circle. And it's not necessary to share with people that you're included in them in your circle, unless you want to. Then it's okay. No rules, okay? And we start expanding this circle. So as I sit, it's easy to put nearest and dearest in the circle. And then it's somehow easier to put those that you might have a casual relationship with, put them in. And then you can expand that to people that you just saw on the street or people that you don't even know. It's inclusive. You're including. And It took practice for me to put people that I don't like. And all of us have people that we don't like. We have to include them. So now when I sit, when I let it go, when I breathe, when I just ignore, basically, ignore the monkey mind, the noise in my mind. And my circle has gotten very inclusive. I put all sentient beings, all plants, all forms of life, not only from this planet, but from any planet that might be out there. Might or might not. It doesn't matter. Just include. And then I sit for 2 or 3 hours with my flame, with my circle that's approaching infinity now, at least as far as I can project to infinity, in its inclusiveness. So I sit with that. And the violet consuming flame does all the work. I'm just nothing more than an agent, but nothing less than an agent. So there you have my teachings. Nothing to add, nothing to take away. Just an openness, a willingness to include, a willingness to listen. And everything I do is grounded in 2 things. It's grounded in, first and foremost, surrender. Surrender is a continuous process. And the second precept is simplicity and ordinariness. Our ordinary state is perfection. Our ordinary state is unity.